Want better AI visibility, higher search rankings, more sales? Of course you do. Improving your PageSpeed performance score is a great way to support all of these goals. Because to get a higher score, you usually have to make your site faster, easier to use, and more trustworthy. All things both search engines and real people care about. So today, I'm going to break down what this score means, how to find it, and the quickest ways to improve it on WordPress. But first, what exactly is a PageSpeed performance score? When people say PageSpeed score or PSI, they're usually talking about PageSpeed Insights. That's Google's tool for measuring how your page performs. It gives you an overall performance score, but it also shows more detailed signals that explain why your page is fast or slow. Okay, so let's go through 5 steps to get you a better PageSpeed performance score by the end of the day. The easiest way to check your score is to go to PageSpeed Insights, paste in your URL, and run a test. Start with your home page. Then test a few other important pages too, like a blog post, a sales page, a product page, or your contact page. Because not every page on your site performs the same way. When the results load, you'll see your performance score at the top. Below that, you'll also see your core web vitals and other details that help explain what's happening on the page. Now, don't panic if your score isn't great. This score is meant to help you diagnose problems, not make you feel bad. And getting a perfect score isn't always realistic, or even the final goal. You're simply trying to improve your site for visitors. Everything else will follow. The most important metrics to pay attention to are your core web vitals. These are broken into 3 main areas. Largest Contentful paint, or LCP. This measures how quickly the main content becomes visible. Interaction to next paint, or INP. How responsive the page feels when someone interacts with it. And Cumulative layout shift, or CLS. How visually stable the page is while loading. Essentially, Core Web Vitals answers 3 big questions. How fast does the page feel? How quickly does it respond? And does it stay stable while it loads? If you want a better PageSpeed performance score, these are the first things to optimize. So now, let's walk through them one by one. Let's start with LCP. LCP is all about how fast the main content loads. Usually that means something like a hero image, a featured visual, or a large block of content near the top of the page. If that main element loads slowly, your whole page feels slow, even if everything else is technically fast. Some of the biggest LCP improvements usually come from enabling caching, reducing render blocking CSS and JavaScript, compressing heavy images, serving next-gen formats like WebP or AVIF, and prioritizing your hero image loading. Image optimization is one of the fastest wins. If you upload oversized images straight from a camera or design tool, your page can slow down fast. So make sure your images are resized properly, compressed, and converted into modern formats. An image optimization plugin like Imagify can really help here. It automates a lot of that work and makes it much easier to keep image sizes under control. Next is interaction to next paint. INP measures responsiveness, so how quickly your site reacts when someone taps a button, clicks a link, opens a menu, or toggles a filter. A bad INP score usually means too much JavaScript is competing for attention. The best ways to improve INP are to reduce unnecessary JavaScript, defer non-essential scripts, delay third-party tools, and avoid loading code the page doesn't actually need. WP Rocket is super helpful here. WP Rocket can automatically apply 80% of performance best practices right after activation, including page caching, browser caching, and key loading optimizations. It also gives you easy controls for things like removing unused CSS, deferring JavaScript, and delaying JavaScript execution. In other words, it can do a lot of the heavy lifting for you, so you don't spend hours on technical details. Then there's Cumulative layout shift. CLS is about visual stability. You know when you're about to tap a button and suddenly the page shifts? I always think of it as a tricky way to get me to click an ad. It makes me so angry. Well, that's what CLS measures. Layout shifts usually come from images without dimensions, ads or embeds loading late, banners pushing content down, or fonts causing unexpected movement. So if your page looks great in the editor, but feels jumpy when it loads live, CLS is something to check right away. A big cause of layout shifts is elements loading without the browser knowing how much space to reserve for them in advance. That's why it helps to make sure images have width and height attributes and that fonts are loaded in a way that reduces visual shifting. WP Rocket can help here too, with features in the Media tab that add missing image dimensions and preload fonts. And beyond plugin settings, it's still smart to be intentional about the above-the-fold content so your most important elements load in a stable, predictable way. The fifth step is to check up on mobile optimization. A site can feel perfectly fine on desktop and still perform badly on a phone. And that matters because a huge percentage of your visitors are probably seeing your site on mobile first. Mobile users are often dealing with slower connections, smaller screens, and less powerful devices. So if your site is heavy, they really feel it. There are two really practical things to focus on here. First, make sure mobile caching is enabled. Mobile-specific caching helps serve optimized versions of your pages to smartphones and tablets, so they load faster without rebuilding the page every time. WP Rocket can create separate cached versions of pages for mobile devices, which is a really helpful shortcut. Second, serve responsive images. This just means giving smaller screens smaller image sizes, instead of forcing a phone to load a huge desktop banner. For example, your mobile banner might only need to be 800 pixels wide, not 2500. That one change alone can make a big difference in load time. And finally, make sure you're testing your site the way real people use it. Check your most important pages using your own devices and on slower connections like 4G, not just your office Wi-Fi. Finally, remember that PageSpeed supports discoverability and AI visibility, but it doesn't replace quality. Google's guidance around search and AI features keeps coming back to the same idea. Make your content accessible, indexable, helpful, and satisfying to use. Speed is a part of that picture. It is not the whole picture. That's why you don't need to obsess over a perfect 100 score. Focus on building a high-performing site that gives visitors a great experience. Build a site that loads quickly, responds quickly, stays stable, and makes it easy for both humans and computers to get value from your content. That's how you improve your PageSpeed performance score in a way that actually matters. And if you're using WordPress, WP Rocket gives you one of the simplest paths to get there. There's a link to try it in the description. Do you have any more performance optimization tips? Leave them in the comments.